Having here today must be a special day. We don't never show up.
Oh.
We come to one session per season.
Welcome back. Mind the game.
We're back, baby.
Opening bottles.
You know it.
We have the privilege of one of the greatest players in NBA history here today.
No question.
KD. Welcome.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think, while I'm opening this wine, I think the best way to start is like, you guys got anything you guys want to talk about, maybe?
So we're getting f***ed up.
Yeah, you think I got enough wine?
This is the place to do it. This will be the place.
Might as well just start there, you know.
Nah, I mean, there we go.
Yes, sir.
Pour that. But, LeBron is the greatest, the leading scorer of all time in NBA history. But I think even you would admit there's things about Kevin's game you wish you had.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the most smoothest, most efficient scorers we've ever had. Like, is there anyone that can do it at every level?
Not to the capacity he's done it. And I was reading a stat earlier, the fact that he hasn't, I don't want to speak like you're not here, but he's so great. I like to do it sometimes.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
He hasn't shot under 50% since like 2012. And in a league that doesn't talk about efficiency enough, because I'm one of those efficiency guys. Like I hate going out there just chucking up shots or, looking at the box score and I was maybe 8 for 23 or 9 for 25 or 6 for 18. Like you're gonna have those nights for sure.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the season, like being efficient, is something I've always prided myself on. And this guy is, when it comes to 3-level score, 3-pointers, mid-range, below the Gary Payton area, below the Malone area, and finishing. It's we haven't had a scorer as equipped as KD in our league ever.
Appreciate that.
Ever.
Yeah, I mean, add to it, pick and roll. With the ball, without the ball.
Yeah.
Catch and go, transition with the ball, catch and shoot, off the move, pin downs, nail. Literally there isn't, I don't think, a spot, an action, or a style of play that you couldn't be yourself, be efficient in.
And is that something like KD, like you, over the years, obviously, I've seen you continue to get better and like get better with your game. Like, when you first came in, you wasn't much of a pick and roll guy. Mm-hmm. Just a natural scorer, catch and goes, always had to bounce to your game, obviously. But I feel like over the last 5 to 7 years, you start handing the ball off pick and rolls, making decisions, making reads, and still being able to be the efficient ass scorer, the dynamic scorer you've been. Like, was that conscientious with you, or is it just like, I want to continue to expand my game?
That was the main thing, wanting to expand my game. Early on when I came into the league, if I could think about my first 20 games in the league, I felt like I was just catching and shooting. A lot of it was catch and shoot threes, catch and shoot mid-range. I was playing fast.
So you felt it was happening so quick, you just felt comfortable rising up.
That was my game, just shooting. You know what I'm saying, at that point. So that's what I, fell back on when nothing else worked. I get stopped. I'm not strong enough yet, guy. Hold me up. I'm just gonna shoot over you.
Yeah.
And then I didn't shoot well my first 2 months, 3 months, maybe my first 6 months of the season. I think I started to figure out the pace of the game, understanding the pick and roll. I was getting more pin downs. And when I was coming off pick and rolls early in the season, I was just shooting.
Right.
And then I'm looking at my teammates' faces. I'm like, damn, he was open. You know what I'm saying? So, I just started to understand my teammates more and the game more, and I wanted to be trusted in every situation on the offensive side of the ball. Coach said, I didn't want a coach to come back to the huddle. Steve, no. Which side you want it on? I'm like, I don't. It's your team. Coach the team. Whatever side you want to call this play on, I got to be ready to come off this on either angle and shoot from either side. So I never liked being limited that way. So I was wanting the coach to just use me in any way that he wanted me.
Anyone on the floor.
Yeah, so I didn't want him to feel limited with me. So that was always been my thing.
I think it's funny you say that. I was one of one of the conversations we had previously about coming to the sideline and a coach is afraid to flip the play because he know that certain guys can't run it on the opposite side.
Right.
And I attest to that. Like that's, and you can get in practice too. Like we can run the same play over and over and over. And if the coach say, okay, let's run it from the left side, we've been running from the right side. Guys be like,
three dudes are lost.
three guys like, what are we doing? You know, what
then
are we doing?
Then the main
cheers.
Cheers. Oh, absolutely.
Appreciate you. And then it's like, as the best player or the most efficient scorer or who got the best matchup, whoever you call him to play for, it's just like when coach says, oh, we can't do this because he not strong going left or he can't go right. That just always did something to me. And it was tough for me to go left sometimes and pull up for the jump shot, especially early on my first few years. And I think I started to understand the footwork, the balance, what it takes to shoot going right from inside the paint, free throw line extended, college 3, NBA 3. You know, so and that's why. And that small detail is the reason I think my game is, around it.
You prefer going left.
Now I do.
But you started going right.
Yeah.
But this is actually, that's interesting to me, right? Because it bothered you that you had one side that was weaker than the other. But statistically, he preferred, and prolific going left. But actually, statistically, as good or better going right.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes that's because people know you want to go left.
Yeah, exactly.
But it also proves, like, it's just a habit to go left. You just prefer, I used to play that way too. I play out of a hezzy to the left. I could still do it to the right, but I was just comfortable.
Do you
playing
feel like
outside.
you got more leverage in your body going left for some reason?
It's
Why
like,
is that?
this is a weird one to say, but like when I was in the 10th grade, I sprained my left ankle. As a right-handed player, left-handed jumper, I didn't want to stop playing, so I played limping around for 6 months. That ankle's never quite been the same. So I think like pushing off my right became my de facto thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so I could do the rhythm going to the right, but to take it one step farther about me, but when I went to Phoenix in 2004, that summer I was like, I can't play this way anymore where I just go all the way left and pull up right. And it bothered me. So I spent that summer saying like, I have to figure this movement pattern out, like left hard pull up. And it took a summer of like every day trying to get the footwork, the balance, the stability. That sounds like you kind of did that early in your career.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy you said that because when I got to go to state and we started working out more, you told me that. And it's always stuck in my mind that like, the defense know if you're going left, most of the time you're going all the way to the cup. So that 1-2 dribble pull up going left has been a staple for me, but it's more so about the pickup of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Going left. Like sometimes I try to pick the ball up right here like my normal shot. They swiping that down. Instead of we did this a lot too. I start changing my pickups and I'm shooting the ball this way now. So a lot of that stuff is just adjustments to how physical the defense was and me just wanting to get shots off.
But this you make it sound simple. The reason he's able to do that, like take the ball up in different areas, is because especially at your size, your balance is so good. Your feet are so good.
That's where it all starts with.
He gets on balance, so like he still has legs under him, so it doesn't matter if he brings it up normal.
Right.
He brings it up here, he brings it up there. He's always still got legs to get under his shot and get that thing up in the air. That's like, those are the little bits that people don't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
That you have to work every day at getting down, getting deeper, getting in a position to have your legs under you.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to understand the power that you have under you and your legs and letting that flow through your whole body to get to your jump shot. It take a while for you to understand how much power you really have, but the lower you play, the harder you dribble the ball back up into your pocket. All that small stuff matters if you want to be a good shooter.
Right. And it makes sense. I mean, all the detail that you're talking about is, when we talk about efficiency, and there's only been a small select few of guys to do this in NBA history. The 90-50-40 club, or 50-40-90, however you want to break it down. And you've done it twice. And it was actually 10 years apart from when you did it. I think the first time you did it was in 13, and I believe the last time was 23.
Yep.
But you want to know who's actually the leader in the 50-40-90 club?
I think it's this guy. What is it, 4?
4.
And I feel like I missed like 3.
You know what? That's funny. We were talking
probably
about
have
it.
too.
We were talking about it. My first year with the Lakers here at the end, I was fucking 100 years old, but no offense. But I think I missed it by a layup, like one field goal.
Man,
right?
and that stings every time.
And I think earlier in my career I missed it. Like I shot 897 from the line, and you think back, it's like 1 or 2 free throws, and for a whole season.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So I don't think about the 4 times doing it. I think about the 2 times.
Yeah,
You're right there.
I think
You're
about
like,
that.
How many more times were you close to that you can remember off the top?
I think it was another time in Brooklyn where I was like 39% from the 3 going into the last game. I had to make like 4 out of 6. I was like 1 for 8. I was just, man. And I was thinking about it too. I wanted it so bad, and it's just like that's another part of the mental game.
Yeah.
You can get in your own way.
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking too much about stuff like that. So yeah, I remember that one time in Brooklyn. I think it was another time in OKC where I think it was the free throws I might have missed. I was like 88, 87 for the year. And I tricked
free
off.
throws for a shooter of your caliber, the free throws drives you crazy.
That's the
right?
crazy-
Like,
that's-
drives you crazy.
We talked. I think we might have
Yeah,
talked
we
about. I
talked-
was
yeah.
like 84 this year, like 83,
Yeah.
82 at one point this year. I was just, and that's been bothering me
Want
mentally
to kick the ball in the gym when you miss a free throw.
more than anything, man. Like I being over 90% is key for me. But so mid 80s is just not it.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
What's your career high? You had it
From the free throw
this
line?
year?
Yeah, I think I was career high this year. I was almost at 80.
Yeah,
I was like
79?
79.6 or something. I'm rounding my off. 80.
But the 3 ball was at what?
My career high for my 3 was 41, I think, last year. I think last year I was
You
in the
definitely
40s.
second half of your career, your 3 balls ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The guys
Just
was
being
talking-
more like efficient. Just being more efficient with it too. Like,
Yeah.
I think your midi too this year stood out even more. I feel like you always hit it, but I think you went to it more this year, and you shot it from deeper this year.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. But it's something I still, to be honest, it's something that I haven't been able to master in my career. I work on it.
Improved a lot though.
Improve, yeah. But like like when you talk about going left and then going right and being efficient, like going left with my midi, I feel really effective with that. I feel like I got great balance with it. I feel like like you're talking about the speed of how you pick the ball up after it comes off the ground, and
Natural
where the
rhythm
pocket
for it.
is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know exactly how to get it back to that pocket. And I know I can go straight up and down going left. I can fade out. It's just all the powers over there. Going right has always been a little like, sometimes my balance is off. Sometimes I don't know if I should fade on the shot or if I should go straight up and down, and it's always kind of fucked with me mentally, even though I work on all of them.
Yeah.
But when obviously when you get into the fray, you don't want the defense to dictate what you want to do, obviously. But it's like getting that pocket that you were saying.
Yeah.
Like the one person that is unbelievable going right with his pocket, no matter where it is like Chris Paul. Like he
can almost shoot.
Yeah, he can do all this without even dribbling and keep it and then just rock.
shoot it
He can
from
shoot it
here.
from
Triple
here.
threat or off the dribble.
Yeah.
And it also gives him that natural little fade.
Yeah.
I can relate to because
Right,
you need
right.
that few little bit inches to get it
Especially
over
at that
the.
size.
You know what I
Right.
mean? This episode is sponsored in part by American Express. American Express knows that for an obsessive basketball fan like me, the playoffs mean a lot of travel time. Between broadcasting games and catching up with old teammates, I'm on the road almost every week, from Boston to LA and everywhere in between. After all these years, I've learned that the journey is as important as the destination. That's why I've always tried to find a spot to stretch, grab a coffee, and get my mind right before heading over to the arena. Fortunately, there's a card that makes every part of that journey better. With Amex Platinum, you earn 5 times membership rewards points on prepaid hotels and flights booked through AmexTravel.com on up to $500,000 on flight purchases per year. Plus, you get access to the Centurion Lounge, which makes travel that much more enjoyable. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. For more information, visit americanexpress.com/travel. After many years in the game, both on court and off, I know all about high-stakes showdowns. That's why I'm hooked on Michael Crichton's Binary on Audible. From the creator of Jurassic Park and ER comes this classic techno thriller about a radical aiming to bring down the government with a deadly nerve gas. The cat and mouse game between the terrorist and a determined State Department agent had me on the edge of my seat in the ride over here. But Audible isn't just about heart-pounding thrillers. From electrifying suspense and daring quests to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command. You'll find gripping titles that keep you guessing, exclusive Audible originals, and bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Ready for your next great adventure? Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/game and discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat.
Do you feel like if you take mid-range, you settling like throughout your career?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, especially my first 14, 15 years, like, there was no need for me to take a lot of mid-range, bro. Like,
I saw a clip of him when I was doing research for this. Take off from I don't know, man. It was like near the free throw line, and it was like the velocity he was traveling at.
I seen some
like,
clips too.
what in the
Just
world was
but
that?
that also
in Portland.
that also comes from like my little league coach too. Like my little league coach and high school coach, they always talk about, don't settle.
Yeah.
Like stop settling. Like, and then you get people in the crowd who obviously don't know basketball like we know basketball, and they tell you to dunk everything. Dunk everything. Get to the hole, dunk everything. By the way, it's people in NBA crowds that do that still. Dunk everything.
They get disappointed when you
Yeah. So, but I felt like putting pressure, when I entered the league, in 03, it was, I definitely shot a little bit more mid-range my rookie year because
No spacing.
There was no spacing.
Exactly.
I was coming off floppies. Like my first basket ever scored in the NBA is off of floppy action,
LeBron
fade to the
and
corner,
floppy is hilarious.
fade to the corner, shooting a jumper from the short corner.
I feel like that first stint in Cleveland, like the J was, because it was hitting net, all net. A lot of your J's was hitting all net, and then you had the confidence to shoot like you said, you had to take them shots. But once you got to Miami, I just feel like the floor was so much space with Boz shooting the three.
Yeah.
You had more shooters around, just like why settle? Well, like when we played y'all, I'm like, he can. I don't want him to give him this midi, but like, there's no way I could just stop this man. Saying? Get to that cup.
Momentum.
So I understand. It's that mental part of like, all right, what do I do? Especially when we got so much responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
As scorers, as initiators, it's tough to figure out exactly, how you're gonna approach it sometimes.
But that goes to both of you being about efficiency, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel good if you have a
Nah.
high volume night and didn't make shots. That's why you guys prepare the way you prepare. Take care. But I mean, there's a stat here, 2021-22, we were together. 58% from 3 to 10 feet, 58% from 10 to 16 feet. 16 feet to the three-point line, 71%. Unless the Googles are wrong.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
71% from 16 to 3. Like that's
insane.
I didn't even realize
But
that.
10 to 16 at
that's
58?
not in an empty gym.
Right.
Like that's a lot of homework.
It's a few guys in our league. It's a few guys. I'm not a lot. It's a few guys in our league that you believe every time they shoot the ball is going in.
Right.
And KD's one of those guys.
It is. That's a lot of pressure, boy.
No, it is. Listen, like when you shoot the ball, when Steph shoot the ball, if Steph get a look, you don't think he's gonna miss.
I think Shea is at that point too.
Shay's at that point too, especially in the middies. Like
every time he shoot, I don't think it's going in.
Yeah, especially when he's fucking his rhythm
Let me
right
ask you
now
this,
is so good.
Quietly in the mid-range, I think Kawhi's like
I
that.
was about to say Kawhi like that too.
Kawhi's like that for sure.
Kawhi's like that too.
For sure. I don't care if he missed 10 in a row. Every shot
the
he
next
shoots.
one's
in.
Especially in that mid-range area. Even his threes is, I think his mid-range is above his threes, but he's still a good shooter too.
Right.
Yeah.
But that mid-range area, I mean, it's certain guys that raise up and get to their spot. You know exactly that they planned on doing that. Shea, one of those guys in today's league. I even like throughout the play. I even like what Julius Randle did from the mid-range
Right.
this playoffs. You know.
Best I've seen him play.
That's the best I've seen him shoot the ball, confidence he has. So I think the mid-range game is coming back for sure.
So that's the big old conversation right there.
Yeah,
you know, because analytics, all these analytic departments right now is saying layups and threes, free throws, layups and threes. But we're watching the MVP of our league right now pretty much dominating through the mid-range.
Dominating.
You know, so, you know, and in the postseason where the game changes, the physicality ramps up. You're allowed to bump and grab and hold a little bit more. You know, like ultimately, it's like get to the spot, get to your spot, and get a bucket. You know, you don't have time to be thinking about, okay, well, if I don't shoot this three, you know, the analytic department coming downstairs the next day saying, okay, well, we took too many twos. Like, this is win or die. You know.
Again, I understand, and I understand the balance between having to get up a lot of threes, but I believe you can't tell you, Luka, or Austin Reeves, don't play your game and take those shots in the mid-range, or just be you. Certain guys, though,
No, for sure.
you know what I'm saying, who need to
for sure.
rely
Need to be
on
a
the
police a
system
little
of
bit.
the team, who can't create on their own, who can't create those shots on their
Yeah.
own. They need to shoot more threes. So I remember we was in the game against Cleveland, and George's Niang, he liked to talk a lot of shit. I love George's, but he talked a lot of shit. And he telling me, like, I hit a couple mid-ranges in a row. We down like 15. Like, you need to shoot more threes. I said, no, these dudes around me need to shoot more threes. I need to play my game. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get into this paint, and because y'all gonna collapse on this mid-range and I kick out to one of them, I'm expecting them to shoot the three, not dribble into a mid-range. Like, that don't make no sense. But the best players on the team, you can't turn them into robots.
You're exactly right. So we did a whole episode on this. The mid-range has never been more important. It's just, it has to come from the right dudes. Right?
Exactly.
Like the court is spaced now by the role players.
Exactly.
What do you think they're trying to take away? Threes and layups. So the
Threes and
star
layups.
has to be able to make mid-range shots, or else the team's not going to be able to score in a playoff situation.
That's simple.
They have to be able to loosen the defense takes with there. So I think the analytics community would agree with that too.
Yeah, they would.
It's really just, we don't want players X, Y, and Z taking a
coming
bunch
down,
of mid-range.
I mean, because the mid-range, I believe, is if you can't find a good shot, we should look for the good shots early, the threes.
Attack the paint.
Attack the paint, try to get layups, try to get threes. But when it's 5 to 6 seconds on the clock, get a ball to the best player. And if he shoot a mid-range at that point, then he shoot a mid-range. But we're not going to waste the clock trying to look for a 3, 2 seconds on the clock, and we giving it to no
Why are you pointing at
disrespect,
me?
Dorian Finney-Smith with 2 seconds on the clock to make a 3. That's not what we, or Royce O'Neal. That's not. I mean, they can hit it for sure, but
But it's
that's not
not deadly,
sustainable offense for us going forward. So,
It's another thing. What you're also saying is, like, you pass up a good mid-range shot to get a worse
Exactly.
shot.
Exactly.
Right? So there's a balance there. To be had.
exactly.
So I want to touch on the topic because, you know, you've been in a lot of different situations. Like, you come into the league, you know, like you said, when you was in Seattle early on, and then with, you know, your early days, you said, I was just shooting a bunch of catch and shoot threes.
Yeah.
You know, that was my game. That's what I was comfortable with. The league was a little bit more
Probably
physical.
a lot of twos.
Yeah, probably a lot of twos, running
Way
floppy
more
actions,
twos.
things of that nature. And obviously you grew into your own, you know, in OKC days. You know, you started, you know, this is how I'm going to make my mark. You know, MVP of the league, you know, doing your things. You know, how was the transition, though, when you went to Golden State to now playing in their, you know, split game action, you know, let's get the ball moving. You still having the freedom to do what the hell you do, but was it, how much of a, you know, adjustment was it for you?
It was pretty easy because
Yeah.
up until, let's say, James got traded for 2013 to 2016, I feel like those were the only years I was playing like point forward in my whole life.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, I'm playing off my teammates. I might mix up a little, get off the rebound and push and make a play. But for the most part, I've been playing off my teammates up until then, and, you know, to that whole time period. So it was easy for me to come off a pin down. It's hard for me to have to dribble through 3 or 4 guys and pull up over 2 dudes with a fadeaway. Like, like you said, we want to be efficient. Playing off your teammate, that's the easiest way to be efficient. I was getting more backdoor cuts, more transition layups on top of the ISOs, on top of the catch and shoot 3. So my game was way more well-rounded in scoring, and it was easier, and I'm way more efficient that way. But I always knew how to play with my teammates, play off my teammates, and the art of scoring is getting the easy points. I always knew that, especially in transition.
It's interesting you think about that Harden trade. You know, it was kind of a decision of the salary cap. It was in Serge, kind of a stretch 4-5, James Harden. And James goes on to be one of the best players of all time.
Yeah.
How do you feel looking back? Like, I know it's easy now to be like, well, yeah, we lost James Harden.
It's a different era. I mean, I think after a team that we exceeded expectations with that team, and when you reach the finals and you go through a run like that so quick, I don't think a GM or owner was ready for that. You know, so you expecting a team that's 22, 23 to, you know.
So you sped up the timeline too fast.
We sped up the timeline, all of us,
Yeah.
you know, each individual player. Serge, you didn't know, like,
Right.
he came out of nowhere. He came out here
Right.
being the best shot blocker in the league. I'm averaging 30 at 21 years old. Russell is 22 years old as an all-star. James, 6-man at 20. Like, so we exceeded the timeline, so they wasn't ready for that. And I don't believe, that's just my theory. I don't know exactly what Sam was thinking or the owner, but my theory is that I don't think they were ready exactly for us to be contenders every year.
Right.
So since we reached the finals, you're supposed to upgrade and fine tune and make changes around instead of, you can't just pull one of the key figures of your team, you know, off the team and expect us to continue on what we was doing. So I just think they were kind of shocked at how good we got so fast. And you know, sometimes you get confused. And then on top of that, Sam Presti was probably, 30-something years old? He was young. Everybody was young, trying to figure stuff out, trying to understand what this landscape was. It was just, but it was beautiful. Yeah, it was too fast. It was just, we were ahead of our time. Everything happened too quickly. And
yeah, because you think about it, like you went from like coming to the league being like, I can't do anything, I'm just going to rise up and shoot, to second in MVP voting at 21.
Come on, man. First team on NBA at 21. Like, doing things at 20, 21. Not just me, but everybody on our team on smaller, different skills.
Sure.
Even our coaches. He was Scott Brooks. That was his first. He was the coach of the year. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was doing things. And Scott was our interim, so I didn't, you know, probably didn't think that Scott was going to be there that long after being an interim, you know. So we all exceeded expectations, and you need a lot. You know, you got to spend money if you want to be in contention every year. I don't think they was ready for that just yet. So, but that prepared them for what they got now.
I was just going to say, right? He's getting a chance to run it back.
Exactly.
Sam, he's got this incredible plan. He's been obviously one of the top GMs in the league for a while.
Exactly.
But he's got this war chest too. And people, I think, are like, you hear it around the deadline. People are like, just make a big trade. And he's like,
patient, man.
Here's I'd like to get your thoughts on this. OKC wins this year. It's a problem for the league.
Yeah, it is.
It's a problem for the league. Those guys are all young dudes. Like, there's few teams that would have to make big upgrades to compete on a year-to-year basis with this team for the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, the only thing OKC you got to worry about is the cap. Are they going the second apron, or are they going to go into the apron and all that stuff?
True, but even with that, they have so many picks that they can try to use that versality to stay under the second apron and still be just
got a lot of
right.
I mean, but it comes down to two guys, like for real. I mean, 3 guys. The rest of these dudes, they can be
interchangeable.
You know, like Shea's gonna be that guy for the rest of his career. What is Jalen Williams and Chet gonna be? You know what I'm saying? Of course they playing great right now. But those 3 guys gotta keep getting, I mean, Shea's already at that level, but those 2 guys gotta keep getting better. I mean, that's just the facts of it. Will just be more consistent.
Right.
And I think they will. But that's really what it is for them. I mean, the salary cap, I think they'll pay for
Yeah, they know they
anything. They know they got a great team and something special ahead of them, but more than anything, those 2 guys got to keep stepping up and become perennial all-stars, no doubt all-stars every year without the benefit of having a good team.
Right, the 70-win team gets the all-stars, right?
You just got to be an all-star flat out because you're better than everybody.
Yeah.
And also, too, the last thing, too, I mean, they're going to be great for years to come, but also, too, like, you know, now you go from, you know, doing the hunting to now being the hunted as well if they win it all. Yeah. It's a different dynamic with that as well. Dynamic. I mean, we've both been there, understanding like, you know, once you win it, you know, because you've been trying to get there so, you know, everything is geared to, we want to be the next champion. We want to be the next champion. And then when you get there, now everybody else is all 29 teams is now like, how do we dethrone them? So it's a different mindset as well. And let's see how if they was to win it, don't want to,
Completely agree. But on the flip side, they give away games currently. Like, they have a great chance to win. They've given away games in this past. They won't give away in the future, I don't think.
No, I think they're going to continue to hunt everybody. I mean, that's what their identity has been.
Yeah, you think that's their landscape?
That's what their identity has been since, this has been cultivating since Shea got traded there for PG. All them dudes been there. Dort, Jalen Williams came a couple years after that, but he been there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those guys got a solid core of dudes, and their foundation comes from
that Caruso.
We coming after y'all. So, and I like that coach's mentality.
He be over there chilling.
He don't say nothing. No, he
be over there chilling.
He's a stoic individual. I just think they got a beautiful thing going, and I think that what we created early on in OKC has just prepared everybody in OKC for what this is like. You know what I'm saying? We've all learned from that situation.
Second time around.
Yeah, it's just, it's been 9-10 years almost. So they've been through different iterations of the Thunder. Melo, Russ, PG, then you got CP. So they've been through different iterations with great players. So and they understand developing a great player from 19-year-old into being an MVP, drafting, trading for him, developing. So they done been through everything. Being even though we were the Seattle Sonics, we were expansion franchise. So they understand everything from building up from the ground up to where they are now. So we all could see this coming with this team.
Yeah, amazing squad. We had a talk recently about where the game's going a little bit. I'd love to hear your perspective. But the finals, to me, is a little bit of a look into possibilities. OKC defensively, pack the paint team, long athletes, keep you out of the rim, flying back out at shooters with athleticism, switchable players. On the other hand, you have Indiana, who plays like this beautiful chaos where from the free throw line up, there's blur screens, there's pitches, guard-to-guard pitches, there's flares while an action's going 21 on this side, flare on that side. For sure, all this kind of madness. We've become accustomed to trying to keep the floor space. They're flying guys in and out to try to move the help. Tell me a little bit about where you think the game's going from a profile of player, but also like strategically beside both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think strategically as a team, we've come into organized random basketball.
I always say jazz. You can play off each other, right?
On both ends, because you look at OKC.
That's right.
On their defense. I watched Shea, or let's say Jalen Williams get beat off the dribble, and then hit Lou Dort in the corner. He's just in regular help. But if he get beat off that dribble, he coming over to take that drive, and then here come Jalen Williams to the wing.
Straight corner.
So they do that all around the court, and then they on top of that they got good one-on-one defense, but they are in tandem, regardless, without even being a scheme. It's just natural.
Kind of random at that end, reading each other.
Exactly.
Which not every team can do.
No, it's hard to do that.
Which is the same thing that Indy is doing offensively.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's how I feel the game is flowing. Because Indy all I've seen is 77 from them. And then, like you said, quick 20, actions,
21,
pitch up,
get it back,
slip out, big set of screen. But when this bring it out the net, inbounding the ball, walking it up, all I really seen from them is 77. And then driving, kick, pick and pop.
Get into the blender.
Just get into the blender early. So I think that's where the league is going, whereas like, you're not about to run 3 pin down. Like, this guy not about to run from the wing under 3 pin downs underneath the baseline while nobody else moving, and you go, like, the defense not letting you do that no more. They're not letting you do that. It's got to be random. It has to be practiced, though, every day. That random.
That's what fans I don't think understand. Why aren't they running anything? Well, if they run, they're switching everything. You're back to ISO.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So how do they know what to do? Well, we do it 5-on-0 every day. Talk through it. See on the film what was your decision here?
Yeah, I think it's great coaching too. Like Rick knows his personnel. His personnel, how his team is built, is not isolation guys that can beat you off the bounce every possession. Or it's not going to be PPR is going to be so low. He knows that if we can get one trigger, which is now creates the blender, now that works for our team.
Right.
You know, it's not going to be run a 77. Okay, now they done switched. Okay, everybody get flat.
Yeah.
Let me back up, back up, and then try to go ISO. Yeah, we know Tyrese can beat the 5 off the dribble. We know that. Benedict Mathurin, we know he can do it from time to time. But for their team, for their PPR to be 120, like we've been seeing, it's not going to be a steady diet of isolation. No matter which action they run. So, like you saying, the blur screens, the touch screens, the flare screens on the opposite side, the pitch where you know. We're running a DHO slip out, you know, the short rolls to the pops of Miles Turner. Like and it is so not random.
Right.
Everyone thinks it's
practice.
Yeah.
It's practice, but it's just like it's
Organized
hard to
chaos.
It's organized.
Organized chaos.
It's not scripted in the game, though.
Right.
But in practice, like you could tell that they on the same page. It's almost like nonverbal. And you see, and you know, being in the finals, a lot of times you're not talking a lot to your teammates. You know what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
You out there really focused on being the best that you can and being at your highest level. These guys don't feel like they having dialogue, obviously, but they're not walking each other through everything. They just reading off of, read and react off of one another, and that's from good coaching, good practicing, holding each other accountable throughout the season, watching film, like all that stuff matters that the outside world, doesn't understand. They just like, well,
what are they doing? It's chaos.
KD and Book and I just roll the balls out, y'all just go hoop, or Luka, and y'all supposed to just beat everybody because y'all just got that talent. It's like, you got to cultivate a lot of stuff from day one of training camp. And on who you want to be, and you can tell that both of these teams been doing that for 2-3 years.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say a big underrated part of their offensive identity is they change ends so quick they create mismatches off the change ends.
Fast,
So
even on a make.
Yeah, exactly. Siakam's down on the guard. We go to the post. Oh, we got the center up on Hallie or bring him into the action. What I also like is if Hallie gets the center, they don't always spread.
No.
They keep playing. Next guy comes in. They're not afraid. They want you to make mistakes. They want it to keep moving because I think it's the ethos. It slows them down, and now they're not playing their game if they say, get spread, let me ISO. Right. You always can go, but we're not going to hold the game up to go.
And I mean, just to piggyback what you just said, Steve, you get the 5 switched on to you. Hallie knows he can beat him. He knows he has the advantage, I would say. But how many times is the 5 guarding the ball when a pick and roll happens?
Exactly. He don't know how to look over that pick and roll.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Nah,
You run past him, touch him on the hip. He's like, what the hell's going on? They fuck up the confusion. And we saw that in the Knicks series. We saw a lot with Cat. They was doing that, and Cat would just back up, and nobody's on the ball, and Hallie's shooting the 3.
And to add to it, they'll bring even the 3 in, it might be Anunoby, a great defender.
Right.
But he's got Cat, so they might just blur screen with Anunoby. Right. He's like, well, I got to help.
Right.
And then Neesmith standing wide open because they're just creating confusion.
They're going to, if you are not aware on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to attack you from the first possession all the way to the last. And I think that's the new brand of ball. It's like, who is the weak guy out here? And it's not just the guy that can't guard one-on-one no more. It's like, if you can't guard a pick and roll, if you don't know how to guard a pin down, we're attacking every single part of your defense.
You're a horrible low man.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to run pick and rolls opposite of you, so you be the tag guy, but we know you ain't going to tag everything.
And the league's about exposing now.
Yeah, but I would also add to it, we were exposing the guy on the ball. Now I think these teams are starting to expose the help by moving the help. We'll cut and replace. We'll blur screen. We'll flare on the weak side. So the help's moving instead of the help. Offensively, we've liked for a period of time here just to know where the guys are. Just stay spaced, be in your spot. Now they're getting smarter. They're getting better at scheming. They're in the gaps. They're rotating. They're reading off each other. So then when you start moving around, whose help is that?
Exactly.
Right. So I think that's the era we're starting to get into offensively.
Would you say defenses have gotten better? More creative?
No, not in a sense, because I don't want to say more creative, because it's a switch league now. Everyone wants to switch. And to be honest, the only way that you can just switch is you have to have the personnel to do it. But I think the creativity is happening and New York did a good job of this. Sometimes when Jalen Brunson was getting switched off on Siakam, they was doing a great job of kicking him out.
Yeah.
Especially
in the post.
Yeah, on the post. I think that's been communicated a lot better. Kicking the small guy out, telling him to go weak side corner or find somebody on the weak side, because there's not too many guys that can actually make the pass Once the switch happens, he rolls them down and he can fire it weak side to get the shot. It's not many guys in our league that can make that. So I think as far as the creativity in that range has gotten better. But defense is always boiled down to just like fucking talking.
Yeah.
Right. But
Like you can make up a lot of shit by just talking through it too.
I would almost flip it. It's not the defense. Maybe defensive involved, not involved. Offenses have challenged them more.
Yeah, just challenge them more.
Challenged them more these
Definitely.
days. New solutions, playing fast.
Yeah.
Shooting the ball from farther out. Like, you watch clips from 15, 20 years ago, like almost everybody's inside the three-point line.
Everybody.
Yeah,
I mean?
15, 20 years ago, shit, I was in the league. I thought you were about to say some shit about the 90s.
Only one of us was
mean,
in the
let
league.
down with the 90s.
That team, that 90s bled into the early 2000s.
They
though.
did.
That was the same type
They
of
did.
ball.
They did.
There's probably one three-point shooter on every team.
Bro,
Two
by the way,
three-point shooters.
if that. Like if that. That's why Sacramento was so damn good.
They had a lot
early on.
ahead of their time.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time. I mean, Bibb was shooting at three. Stoyaka was shooting at three. Bobby Jackson come off the bench shooting at three. Vlade from time to time would pop. Brad Miller would pop.
Brad
C. Webb used to pop a little bit. That's what made them so damn dynamic because they were so far ahead of their time. And then they showed up.
Yep.
And Phoenix. And when they showed up, it's changed the game.
Well, Nelly too in Dallas, y'all played that way. Did y'all play fast?
He liked to play fast, but he also liked to play 2 or 3 minutes off the elbow. Because in the elbow, the weak side is in a bind, right? And that's why we play delay now. The ball's a lot of 5-out stuff.
Yeah.
But on the elbow, if you're the weak side, he can still hit your guy.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he
so
always knew
it's
that
shorten
put
the pass.
pressure on
Yeah.
you. So if you want to come, that's a one pass. Wherever it's on the wing, it's got to be a swing, or a skip. So I think he used to like try to distort the defense like that. But even those Suns teams, like we think about them now, played so fast and shot a bunch of threes.
Yeah, we
Not
talked
true.
about this, yeah.
Not true.
We talked about it, yeah.
I can't remember what year we beat the Spurs in San Antonio to tie the series 2-2. I think it might have been the game Robert Horry body checked me the thing. I think if it was that game, we made 5 threes. 5, and we're supposed to be a run and gun team, right? Like we should have shot 35 threes, right? 40 threes. So we look back with tinted glasses, right? Like it's a slow evolution. Now I feel like things are starting to change quickly. It's like the tech industry almost. There's so much information now.
Yeah, and it's all personnel too. But just like the tech industry, some people try it and they can't even get to that. They can't get to that capacity. They don't have the resources. You got to have the personnel in our league too. As much as it's a copycat league, and as much as we talk about 3-point shooting, whatever the case may be, you still like if you're a team shooting 28% from the 3-point line throughout the season, that don't mean taking more threes.
Yeah, straight up.
Like, what are we doing?
But that's the solution.
I get it.
That's what they tell.
I get it.
More threes. If we shoot 28 threes on a game, that's not enough.
No, it's not enough. Oh no, it ain't enough.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
They get mad if you below 35, 40.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think the profile of players changed? Like I'm been thinking, I'm like, I don't know if the 6'2" and under guard is at a premium no more as a starter. Maybe as a backup.
Yep.
But you have to be.
We just talked about this last.
It's gotten compressed.
It has.
Right? It's compressed.
It has.
It's that like either
the-
Donovan Mitchell, Drew Holiday, 6'3", or
Lou
6'4",
Dort.
Lou Dort,
Yeah.
or it's you got to be.
You can't get picked on defense. That's the thing, because we playing such the pick-on game that they will really, literally, if you can't guard, they will bring you up every
single
play.
time.
Yeah.
And if
Every
you're
play.
6 foot, 6'1", and you're not a bulldog like a Davion Mitchell, Drew Holidays, on the defensive side, or you're not an
Or
offensive
not athletic
flat-out
as hell,
savant like Kyrie, where you can score on dudes 7 feet easily in ISO, then I just can't see it. What you think?
Like for me, I'm interested like Darius Garland. Like he's an amazing basketball player. I think his value like I'm shocked. Like we don't talk about him as like this amazing, like because the era, like if he played in any other era, I think he would have been like his value would be through the roof.
Yeah.
Like he's that skilled, he's water bug, he's got every shot, he can play make. But there's an era where it's like, okay, we also have to help that dude out defensively all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Like that's an example for me because he's such a good basketball player.
Right. He's so tough.
I mean, it's just he is, and it's like, but the defensive side of the ball is where, people will attack him. If you want to chance to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, you are going at Darius Garland most of the time on the defensive side. That's not saying that he's going to get scored on every time, but sometimes he's just small.
Right.
He's just 6'1", 6'2" sometimes. And when you got your nowadays offenses are giving the ball to their best player. I don't care if you're 6'9", 6'10". If you out on that perimeter, Paolo up there, bring up Darius Garland. And if you don't have that built in, but Cleveland did a good job of building in that help around him. But if you don't have that around those guards at that size, it's going to be tough.
Because now 5 guys outside the three-point line.
Exactly.
If he played 10, 15 years ago and beyond, 6 out of 10 dudes are inside the three-point line. You got help right there. Right?
Yeah, that makes defense easier for everybody. It's harder for some of the best defenders to guard up with all of this space.
I heard you say on with JJ, I think, on a podcast that it was harder to get 30 at the start of your career just because of spacing.
It definitely, man. It was. You got 2 dudes at the block.
Bunch of power forwards in the league.
Most of the time, the whole league running floppy. That's the go-to set. So we got 8 guys inside the three-point line.
Right in front of the basket.
And all they do was lift upper body. Up top, not a game. They weren't working on their legs back there, man.
So it's all just pushing and shoving.
Pushing and shoving, bro. It's all strong, man. Like Gold's Gym.
When you think back to our time in Brooklyn, what do you think of?
Man.
Tell them about the three-point line tweet.
Some people are saying take the corner 3 out. So I think that would be.
It's just now you just
what are we doing?
Disrespecting the whole game of basketball.
So you know that when the three-point
sideline.
line curve, it just goes out of bounds. and there's no three-point line.
Long twos.
And there's no three-point line at all. So you catch it in the corner. Long two. It's just a super long two.
You in the dunker.
You can imagine analytics when we have people play defense where it'd be like 3 guys on the top, 2 guys
like force the long two.
Right?
Just force the long two. Nobody grab
no one's
that
covering
side.
the
No one
corners.
covers the long two right there.
Destroy the game.
Thanks for watching Mind the Game. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe for more content.